Hello everybody, welcome to Shogi Ramen TV. いらっしゃいませ. Let's enjoy Shogi with me. Today, I want to share the interesting Sangen Bisha strategy by Ibisha players. Let's see. This is case of Gote. Sente, push the rook pawn and open the bishop. Pushing rook pawn, moving the bishop, open bishop, then moving the silver. This is the Ibisha player's normal way for the kakugawari bishop exchange. But let's see from here, if the sente didn't exchange the bishop, then moving the rook to the sangen bisha from here. This is very strange looking as a sangen bisha, as a furi bisha, because this silver looks bad position. So at this position, if the sente exchange the bishop like this, then this game would be the Ibisha game like this. So in this strategy, if the sente didn't exchange the bishop, then you can play the sangen bisha like this. Of course, you need to take care about the bishop exchange soon like this, because it looks there's a bishop drop here. But in this position, dropping the bishop here is stronger than the opponent's bishop, because the opponents can take the pawn, but you can take lance. This is better for the Gote, because the lance is absolutely advantage for the Gote. Okay, then back to this position, and the opponent will move the king like this. Then you can move the king. And in this position, you need to take care about the bishop exchange again, because if take by silver, opponent finally can drop the bishop here, because dropping the bishop is blocked by the knight like this. So in this position, this is good for the sente. So this is not good. So against the bishop exchange in this position, taking the bishop by rook is the best move. And if the Gote drop the bishop like this, you can escape the rook. And if exchange the pawn, this is a bit good for the sente, but this is just exchanging of the pawn. And you can move the gold like this. And then you can push this pawn, for example, and creating the Ishida formation. This is just an example like this, and exchanging a rook is good for the Gote's side, so the sente needs to drop the pawn. Then the advantage of the getting pawn is already lost for the sente, and this silver and gold is not so good positions, but the sente has already dropped the bishop, so this is even as a game. Okay, then let's back this position, and the bishop exchange is not a problem. So the opponent will move the king, and you will move the king also, and moving the gold. And from here, move back the bishop is one of the interesting way. Normally this bishop move is not good, because this bishop can take the lance, but in this strategy, the silver is already blocked the bishop line, so you can move back the bishop here. And from here, pushing pawn and bring the silver like this, and pushing this pawn and pushing this pawn. This is the basic formation of this strategy. The big difference is that this pawn position. Normally pawn is here, but this pawn position is very important for the silver, because the silver can use this way easily. And let's see from here, moving the bishop and creating castle each other, creating minnow and creating anaguma, pushing h pawn, pushing h pawn. and creating the Mino Castle and creating Anaguma. And let's see that this position. This is very nice formation for the Sangenbisha because from here, for example, you can attack from this line using the Rook and also using the silver. And also you can use the bishop like this way. So attacking this third line is a very nice option for the Sangebisha side. And the other option is using the bishop to break the Anaguma. So against the Anaguma, this bishop is very nice for the edge attack. So for example, you can create the Ginkamuri like this. And jumping knight. And then you can attack the edge if you have a pawn or you have a chance to break the Anaguma. So this bishop is very nice, and also you can use the silver for the attack. So this formation looks very strange, especially in this position. So this position looks very strange, but finally you can use the bishop and silver. So this strategy is very interesting, and I have never seen in my 30 years of the shogi life. This strategy was shown by the Amahiko Sato. He is very creative player, and he played Ibisha and also Ibisha very well. Okay, see you next ramen. Bye bye.